For more than 4 decades, the Main Street Cafe has been a fixture in downtown Marlborough. The coffee pots were always full, the grill was always hot, and owners Randy and Mary Scott were always there to greet their customers. Now, after 41 years, the Scotts have retired, closing their own chapter in the cafe's history, while a new generation steps in to carry the story forward. The cafe's roots stretch back to 1984, when Randy took over what was then called Bumpy's restaurant from his father-in-law.
In 1984, Bumpy, this used to be Bumpy's restaurant, was my father-in-law from my first marriage, and he was ready to retire. He'd had some health issues. I ended up taking over the place on a daily basis. He came back to work for about 9 months, realized it just was not for him anymore. Made us an offer to buy the place. It was a nice friends and family kind of a deal. Paid market price, but no money down because we really weren't prepared for that. And we just kept the same motif that he had and made some minor upgrades, and I've been doing so ever since.
He kept it going with hard work, long hours, and a commitment to community. In 2003, Mary joined him, bringing fresh ideas and her love of food into the mix.
I was the front manager, owner, waitress, also a waitress, and I have a love of food also. I kind of give my feedback with that because I'm an avid cook. But it was, so we had our spot with each other. He had already established his spot, obviously.
So when Mary came on board here, the place was very successful at the time we were going on. And it was still glorified diner. Everything was pretty much the same as it was when I was working for Bumpy. Mm-hmm. And as she said, she's a foodie. I am not a foodie. I'm a production guy. And we would be sitting at home and she would make something for dinner. I went, this would be really good if we sold it in a restaurant.
Yeah.
How can I do this for 40 portions or 30 portions? And we would have those discussions and we would come up and try it. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
From then on, the couple built more than a restaurant. They created a place where neighbors became friends, where milestones were celebrated, and where regulars didn't need to order because their breakfasts were already on the grill.
This was the Cheers of Marlboro. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew your name. We knew all of the customers. The customers all knew of us. People would come in. People still come in. They don't even put an order in. They would be, are you having your usual breakfast? Yes. I have customers that have been coming in this place since 1987. I just said goodbye to him on Sunday, who has never changed his order. Every single Sunday, he would order the same thing.
It wasn't unusual for 5 generations of a family to share one table, and for many, the cafe became a second home.
One in particular, Claudette Monod. We did her 80th birthday party on a Friday night. They asked me if I would close down and do an 80th birthday party because she was Bumpy's customer long before I owned the restaurant. At one point, and it was, for some reason, that Monod family, it was the women that really took to this place. And at one point, I had 5 generations of Monod women sitting at a table, all eating turkey sandwiches.
Turkey sandwiches. And French fries with turkey gravy on them. Oh, had to have that.
That feeling extended to the staff as well. Dozens of teenagers got their first job here, learning lessons they'd carry into adulthood. For Jessica Clark, the cafe wasn't just a first job, it became a lifelong one. She's worked alongside the Scotts for more than 30 years.
He's like family, the restaurant is like family. When he said he was retiring, I said, I'm out of here, I've had enough. And as the weeks have rolled along, I can't leave because all the people here are like family. It's great.
Even her son now works Sundays in the dish room, proving the cafe has always been about more than a paycheck. When the pandemic shut down much of daily life, the cafe stayed open, offering food and, maybe more importantly, a place for people to connect.
We would kind of stretch the rules for COVID separation, and people would come down and everything was takeout.
Yeah.
And so people would come in 1 or 2 at a time. They would come in individually, but we would have 3 or 4 people here. and we would give them the cup of coffee in a takeout cup. And they would be kind of separated around, one at the table, one at the counter. And then they would wait 15 minutes and then they would put their order in and we would take our time cooking it. And that gave them 30 minutes a day to at least talk to someone else. And then someone else would come in the door going, all right, I've got too many people. You've got to go next one in. So we had a rotating thing and it was a lifesaver for a couple of people.
Beyond serving meals, the Scotts also serve their community. From hosting art shows to helping save the city's Labor Day parade, they use their restaurant as a hub for good.
It's not just the things that we did, but we were a frontage to that. People would meet here as community groups, and then we'd pull it all together. You know?
We didn't do it. We were just here.
Now, that porch will remain open, with new owners ready to step in and keep the Main Street Cafe alive. They'll keep the familiar look and feel while bringing in a few updates.
I'm really happy for the incoming owners. I really am happy for them, and they know we're supportive.
He's a great guy. Both brothers, they're great. I think the place is going to really come up very, very quickly. I think in a year and a half from now, as they get their feet wet and start to make the changes that they anticipate will be good, I think you're going to see this place be much busier than it is now. It's kind of like sagged off a little bit because the old guy that's been running it hasn't had the ambition to do all of the extra work that's required, and certainly has not wanted to expend the money because there's no return on investment if you're ready to sell your business.
For Randy and Mary, retirement means more time at home, more freedom to travel, and maybe even more time to finally sit on the other side of the counter.
I know I'm going to shed some tears, and you know, we've been blessed. We really have been blessed. And
she's so spot on because it is the customers. This morning we had 2 customers that have been coming in here for decades. Neither one knew we were leaving. When I told them, you know, you could see them a little bit, but it's the people.
The Scotts may no longer be behind the counter, but their spirit will linger in every cup of coffee and every plate served at the cafe they built. For Marlborough, it's not the end of the Main Street Cafe, it's the beginning of a new chapter. And for Randy and Mary Scott, it's the end of an era they'll never forget.